I was at my bed last night, and before I sleep, I always have this little ritual where I break down some fights. I see what they're doing, I see what they're not doing, I see what they could be doing. Just like you do with copy, where you read copy so you can become better at copy. You watch footage of fighting so you can become a better fighter. So anyway, I reviewed this copy, and I noticed this one pattern a lot of fighters had, and it was the one reason they were not really famous. Because the people who have this, the fighters who have it, they make this one mistake. Usually they're not famous because they're not because they're not entertaining or something. It's actually they're not entertaining, but it's not because they don't know how to fight. They're not actually good fighters. Because when you watch their videos online, they're like, oh god, this is a huge fighter, this is a big fighter, this is gonna be a firefight, whatever. And so you end up watching the fight and you realize this one mistake they make, which copywriters also make it. And it's why they don't have clients. So this one mistake is fighting not to lose. And I'm going to explain exactly what this means and how you can reverse that. So what I mean by fighting not to lose is that, for example, you might see some fights and one fighter will not try to win. They will do the bare minimum so they don't lose. What I mean by that is they might just stay there, they might just throw a jab, they might just throw a kick or there, here and there, a combination here and there, but they're mostly gonna be focusing on defense, staying out of range so they don't get touched, so they don't get hit. And what happens when you do that is you play not to lose, meaning you're not trying to actually win, you're just doing the bare minimum so you don't get knocked out. And that makes a very boring fight. And copywriters do the same thing, okay? Because a lot of copywriters have this mindset of, okay, so I already sent whatever, I don't know, 10 outreach today. I already did this, the bare minimum, so I can rest now. I don't need to do anything else. And yeah, of course, I'm not saying you need to be working all day. I'm not even saying that. I work like 1 to 4 hours a day. But it depends. It depends. You don't have to work all day. I work 1 to 4 hours a day, and that's what my students do too. So you don't have to work all day. I want to make this very clear. But you do need to do more than the bare minimum. That's important. What do most copywriters do? They might outreach 1 day of the week or 2 days of the week or whatever. They're not gonna be consistent. They're not gonna be doing every single day. That's what I mean. You're playing not to lose. You think you're doing stuff. You think you're productive. You think you're getting closer to those clients when you're fucking not. If you want to get closer to clients, you need to be outreaching every day. And again, I'm not saying you need to do this every day for 10, 12 hours a day, or, oh, if you don't work 80 to 100 hours a week, you're lazy. No, I'm not saying that. None of that. But you need to do more than the bare minimum. You need to do more than the people who do the bare minimum and get no results do. That's what you need to do. Just find out what they're doing and do the exact opposite. That's it. That's really the secret to success. Find out what people who don't succeed do and not do that mistake. And that's why... And that's why I think it's not that's completely random. And that's why I also think it's not so bad to hang around with losers and hang out with broke people and hang out with people who don't have the right mindset. I think it's good because you learn what not to do. But isn't that crazy? So yeah, that's something to think about. And so it's like, if you're making 5 to 10k a month, why wouldn't you do why would you do just the bare minimum? Did Mike Tyson, Michael Jordan, Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, or I don't know, Messi or Ronaldo, or all of these massive authorities, the famous people, the billionaires do? How did they become this successful? It was because they didn't just do the bare minimum. They did more than everybody else. And the funny part is, the bar is so low, the bar is set so low, that in order for you to do more than the bare minimum, you just need to do, I don't know, instead of sending out 10 outreaches a week, you can send 10 outreaches a day. And you're already you're already doing 7 times more work than them. It's literally that crazy. It's literally that crazy and that easy. Nobody's a savage nowadays. It's easy to become a savage. It's easy to become the best. It's literally very easy to become great these days. I'm not great yet, but this is what I've realized the more I'm in this game. So yeah, put this in your head. Put this in your head. You don't need to work all day. And now that I'm training for my fight, I'm training for 4 hours a day. Sometimes 5 hours a day, some hour a day. Other times 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day. Depends on the rest and the schedule and stuff. But today I woke up at 8. I ran 10 kilometers from 8:20 to 9:20, and then until 11. So 1.5 hours, a bit more than that. So for 1.5 hours, I went. Actually, it was more than that. It was, yeah, kind of. Anyway, and I trained. I went to the gym and I trained, fight trained. So my morning training alone was 3 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's how long it was. And in a few hours, in like 1 hour from recording this, I'm gonna do another training. Do I need to do all of that? No, but I'm not gonna do the bare minimum. That's what I want you to put in your mind. I'm not gonna do the bare minimum. I'm gonna do more work than anyone else. Because how much work would most fighters do? Most fighters and most people I'm gonna compete with, unless I hit, unless they're good and they have this mindset too, which I hope they do, because that's a banger. That's gonna be a banger of a fight. Unless they have this mindset that I do, where I'm not gonna do the bare minimum, then it's gonna be a firefight. But they need to have this mindset. Everybody needs to have this mindset. Most fighters will train for 1 hour a day. Sometimes, some days not even at all, and they're gonna expect to win a fight. But I train 4 times more than them. Like, how can they compete with me if they don't train like crazy and they only train 1 hour a day? How are they gonna compete with me? How is this fighter gonna compete with me when we get on the ring? How is he gonna compete with me? It's insane. It's insane. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you in this video. If you found this valuable, like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.